Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the Domino's pizza. It's actually a lot better than it is. It's a lot better in the UK than it is in Australia. So we're now getting on to R&D. So some of you have probably heard about the research and development grant. I'm not the person to be talking about it, so I'll hand it over to you.
Cool. Right. R&D. I would suspect that most people have heard about R&D tax credit. It's the thing that is pushed the most. There are lots of advisors out there, which I'll come back to a little later. I think most people know this is where the government will give you a cash rebate for the money that you spend on R&D. Again, there are lots of rules and restrictions as to when you can do it, but I would say the first thing is you've got to have company. You've got to have traded your first period, because the claim is in your tax return, and you only do a tax return when you finished your first period. At the moment, that's then taking 3 months to come through in terms of cash as well. So for startups that haven't got companies, it's brilliant, but if you haven't got a company at the moment, this is now some way down the line to be able to actually get your hands on cash.
You can get the company to prepay it, so you get it earlier, but there's an additional fee.
So
In Australia, there's Rocking Horse who, or if they look at your R&D tax claim,
Fund it, yeah.
you own 100 grand, comes in
Don't
90
see that.
days. Really?
Don't see it.
Interesting.
Yes, the R&D is changed again. That sort of environment has changed quite a lot in the last probably 18 months to 2 years. This was a free gift. This was brilliant. This was the government just giving out literally free money. Just jump on this bandwagon. The revenue then had less staff, austerity, less people checking it, many more claims. They were basically just going through. So there were more and more R&D, more and more obscure things. And so you ended up with the advent of advisors that were then putting through claims on a no-win, no-fee. And there's loads of people out in the market that will do that. So just be very, very careful. On the basis that you put them through, it doesn't really matter, hopefully you get it, chances are the government were paying out on it, you get your money, and by the time they either really looked into it, these businesses weren't there, and actually you were ending up having to pay back the R&D that had been falsely claimed, and you didn't have the cash ability to pay back because you were merely spending it on building a business. And we've seen that quite a lot, so just be really, really mindful. Plus, there's really no reason you should be paying a percentage, a no-win, no-fee. And most of those percentages, some of them are up to 20% of tax. Cash received. I see why would you? Most accountants, and we do as well, are effectively charging for hours. So why would you charge a premium? Especially in a business that you're trying to invest in, you're trying to help, why would you charge this sort of premium based on what they can get back? Plus, we certainly believe you don't put tax returns in front of anybody unless there are valid claims in accordance with the law and the legislation, and put them in front of directors that have a fiduciary duty to fill in correct self-assessment tax returns. No win, no fee, you will win. And actually, a claim that's legally correct. So it's all a lot of nonsense, and therefore you should be paying the hours that it costs to do a return. So, R&D claims might cost £1,000, something of that order. But you'll find people putting in claims that are for cash rebates of £100,000 in cash, so at 20%, and £20,000 for your 100 grand back. And a lot of people go, people really signing up. Yeah, they really are. Because, oh God, they're going to get 80 grand. This guy's guaranteed it. It's a no-brainer. Actually, if you should be getting back 100, say 100. So just be very mindful. The revenue have tightened up, and again, this is again part of the austerity. That this just is not the free gift that we'll just continue to give. This is now being tightened up. You used to be able to get R&D pretty much on any app. Now you cannot get R&D on an app or website development, or even technology. The key is, can a reasonable developer develop it? And actually, if you can get a reasonably proficient developer to develop your app, there's no R&D, there's no research and development, there's no special magic. It's a platform, it's a connecting piece of technology. It's putting together what people are doing in a technological way. It's not R&D, and the revenue are really clamping down. There has to be something that is a scientific or technological advance. And if what you're doing is not, might be awesome and make loads of money and be commercial and brilliant, but you won't get R&D tax credits if it's not a scientific technological advance. So it has to be magic, and I always describe it as that. That actually you've got to put something in, something happens, there's magic. Actually, a regular developer couldn't do. They really have to sit there and scratch their heads and get together.
I like to explain it, if the engineer starts the project and knows exactly what he's going to do, it's going to be quite easy, not much to claim.
No.
And if he's copying something, not much to claim. If he or she realizes there's going to be AI or a bot or something that he or she's creating that's going to be difficult, and they're going to sit there and have to brainstorm how to get around this problem.
Yeah. It can exist already. So if you design a search algorithm that can search and bring out results, then if you've developed it and built the algorithm and there's the technology that does it, you can claim R&D on that. In fact, Google have got a few algorithms themselves and have already invented quite a lot of that technology. Doesn't matter, you can still, providing you have developed what you've done, you can still claim. So you can get R&D on reinventing the wheel, but it's got to be it's got to be scientific and new to your business. That's a change to what has happened before. So we're seeing quite a lot of AI, quite a lot of algorithms that are being developed. I mean all the sort of basic tech that is new, yes. But we also see lots of people going, well, I've built an app, but it isn't one that exists, it's R&D. It's cool, it's clever, it's smart, I want to buy it, but it's not R&D. So that's quite important.
Okay. Any questions on R&D?
Yeah, I was going to ask, if you said here that it can be claimed previously with a fee, I wanted to find out if the product itself is architectural in nature, so you're saying physically or something that hadn't yet been created. If the product was architectural but only in design, would I then be able to claim a rebate on the through R&D on the project that had yet to be pushed past the design stage?
Would it pass the test of being a scientific advance in science or technology?
Yeah, architectural building methods.
As in technology, architecture, building methods, yeah. If it was it's a new architecture, and if you've designed that and built that, and that is a development, technological development, then yes.
Alright, so, okay. Cool.
The revenue, again, we'll probably circulate afterwards, but there are some key questions the revenue asks that you have to answer as part of the claim. One of them is, what is this scientific and technological advance? And that goes with your claim in a narrative form. So we can circulate the 5 questions or so. And it used to be, do you know what, if you don't understand it, it probably qualifies as R&D. And that's literally how the revenue used to do it. There used to be 1 or 2 guys there, that's complicated, I don't know, that must be right. Now they're a bit more smart because we're talking real money. And again, if you're that if the government are informing the revenue that they need to send less cash out the door, and the revenue is ideally something that brings in money, doesn't keep writing checks, it's an easy place to push on. So they are being more specific.
One last point.
There was a question about that.
Yeah.
So am I right by saying that if you can patent it, then essentially then you can have R&D rebate?
That's not directly. Patent doesn't mean R&D, but if you manage to get a patent, there is a good chance that it is a technological or scientific advance that nobody else has thought of, because you must be able to get a patent.
Because of course you can't patent an idea, you have to patent the actual software or something.
Yeah, the one last thing I wanted to touch on is reason being in Australia, you can only claim R&D if you're studying in Australia. So if you outsource to Vietnam, Philippines, India, you cannot claim. Whereas in the UK, you can claim within the whole of the EU, which I think is fantastic.
And there is a lower rate. So if you outsource your R&D, it's a 65% rather than the 100%. So if you don't want to employ your own technologists, your own developers, your own team, and there could be loads of reasons why not, then actually outsource it, claim 65%, providing you own the IP of it. Again, just be mindful that they're not owning the IP and licensing it back to you, providing you own it, then you claim 65% basis, which is what we want to do. Makes a lot of sense. Of course, you're trying to get the development done at a lower cost, so a lot of that is outsourced anyway, because it's cheaper to get it done in the likes of Eastern Europe, Portugal, India. There's lots of other places that you can get it done. Cool.
We'll move on to
Just R&D, just one other thing. You can only make the claim if you're a going concern. You can only make the claim if you have enough money to be an ongoing business. So if your business is dependent on claiming the R&D, you can't make the claim. So we get quite a lot of people that go, yeah, well, it's all right because I'm going to make this claim, but I need the money to pay the bills. You can't make the claim at that point because you need that money effectively to carry on. Again, why? You're in this country and you don't really want the government giving money to support businesses that aren't going concerns. It's something that you need to just be quite mindful as well as your burning rate goes up, as you're potentially running out of cash. You can't go, oh, it's all right because I've got an R&D claim coming.
What's the minimum spend?
The minimum spend in terms of what you can claim on R&D?
Minimum spend on how much you spent on R&D to reach it.
Getting back 16-17% in cash terms. So every £100, depends on what the level you are. One's a 14, one's a 17. In terms of cash, so in other words, you spend £100, you get 14 back. So it has to be worth doing it. The reality is, if it's costing you £500,000 to do a claim, sometimes you're getting back more than £1,000 in the claim.
Cool. I'm gonna also send an email out to everyone probably in the next 72 hours with some good references and PDFs on R&D, SEIS, CIS and so forth. So we'll now move on to offshore trusts. I get asked this question a lot. Should I create my business in Ireland or Hong Kong where pay next to no tax? And I remember you explained to me exactly why entrepreneurs tax relief is in the UK. So let's get into that.
We get this question quite a lot because this comes from kind of the golf club mentality, the golf club advice, where you go to speak to your mate down the pub and everybody goes, oh, you know what you should do, you set up a company in Bermuda because you won't pay any tax. Or, let's go to Mauritius or Cyprus or any of these havens. There are certainly circumstances where establishing businesses overseas makes sense from a tax structure and investment point of view. in the vast majority of cases of UK tech businesses, the majority of cases, it doesn't work for a lot of reasons. Ultimately, if you're a UK resident and you want to make your millions and then spend your money in the UK, then it's completely irrelevant. By the time you pay no tax overseas, you'll just pay tax when you bring more money in. So it doesn't work if you're a UK resident. If you are a founder and owner that is a non-domiciled, in other words, again we're getting into sort of technical tax terms, but if your heart is in another country, in other words, if you're, I say from another country, so it's not quite true, but the way to think about it, if you plan to be buried somewhere else other than the UK, you're probably non-domiciled. So a bit morbid for pizza and beer and tech event, but there you go. So if you are non-domiciled, then potentially structuring using offshore vehicle may make some sense. You know, again, exaggerate the example, but if you set up a tech business overseas, you make £100 million, your £100 million is offshore, and you go off and you live offshore. And in those circumstances, and if you knew that was what was going to happen, then that would have been the best advice. But offshore structuring is expensive to set up. There are costs of actually maintaining offshore structures, and ultimately the business is taxed where it is managed and controlled. So even if you're sitting here in London managing and controlling your Bermuda-based tech business, you're taxed in the UK. You might not be taxed on ultimate sale, but your revenues and your profits are going to be taxed in the UK. So, a whole heap of reasons it may not make sense. Trying to persuade investors to invest in offshore vehicles is also not that easy. Not getting tax relief if you're SEA, CIS, if you're a Bermuda-based, British-based company, Cypriot company. So you've got to think as well from an investment point of view. So the answer is they do exist. There are good reasons, and for some investors it does make sense. But for a lot of even non-domiciled individuals, the capital gains tax rate. So when you sell your business, there is a relief called entrepreneur's relief, which again most people will know, where you only pay tax at 10%. So actually a lot of, and again, a number of Australian businesses, or Australian founders that I act for, do you know what? The cost of setting up the structure, when I say I haven't actually got a business yet, the cost of maintaining that business, the fact I need to manage and control it overseas anyway, and investors, and ultimately if I want second round, third round, I want VC investment, I want to do other things, actually that complicates everything. Do you know what? Let me concentrate on running my business and I'll pay you 10%. You know, it's not a terrible place to be.
Is it up to £30 million?
Yeah.
Excellent, yeah.
So it's, you know, for 10 million, not 30 million. Do you know what? Up to £10 million to pay at 10%. Depends on your view of tax. You know, for a lot of people actually, be very nice, thank you very much, and I pay my 10% and be done. Now let me concentrate on actually raising my money, growing my business, and doing that.
So if your business becomes very successful,
Yeah.
later on could you set up like a holding company, like in Hong Kong or something like that, and then somehow shift it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then if you need to exit.
Yeah, so I've got a situation at the moment where we've got a very successful UK company that has just broken into America and now raising VC money in the States. And without doubt, they will be more successful in the States than they will be in the UK. So not quite your example, but similar scenario. And a VC, US VC necessarily wants to raise or invest in the UK company, and the growth is going to be in the UK. They're going to be in the US. So we will have to flip it, but there is an exit charge. And there is an exit charge at value. And there is no cash necessarily to pay the tax on the exit charge. Now, we're talking to VCs about raising 50 million quid. Do you know what? Yeah, it's going to pay tax on some value. We're not going to not go to the US. We're not going to not go and operate the biggest market in the world. We're not going to, and it's US retail. It's not as if we're not going to do that. Yeah, we'll pay the tax. You know what? And should we have set up a US business in the first place? Yeah, probably. But on the basis he was from Hackney, you know, setting up in New York wasn't exactly the forefront of his mind when he set up his business in his bedroom. So, you know, it's an issue. What we're going to do was commercially right, inevitably, for the business. So the same thing goes if you're a growing business and you get to a certain value and you want to then take it offshore because it makes sense, either you've got offshore investors or you're non-domiciled and actually ultimately your exit is going to be offshore, then so be it. But a lot of the rules around non-doms have changed over the last few years, so it's becoming much harder for non-domiciles to benefit as much as they ever did. Does that make sense? Are there any things sort of hopefully puts the myths away? Don't take advice to golf.
Some basic advice I want to give, and I'm sure there's a lot of you that are very organised, but for those of you that aren't, you've got to keep your invoices, your receipts. If you ever get a VAT claim or you want to deduct something, you need to have proof. So either set up an email that says, you know, receipts@yourdomain.com and send every email and receipt to that email and just keep it for receipts and invoices. Or even better, download Receipt Bank, because that automatically integrates into Mild or Xero, the accounting software you guys are going to use. I've seen a lot of people, an audit will come up and they have to spend 2 weeks trying to go and find all the receipts. Otherwise, they don't get the claim, they miss out on cash, they can't grow the business for a couple of weeks. So at this point, make sure you set up that email and download the app, and you know, whether it's, you know, buying something for an event, you know, car payments because you're using your car for work, make sure you keep them all.
I'm pleased you said that. No, you're the bad lighter.
Yeah. And it's going to save
But
a lot of time.
but it's true. I mean, it's so easy now. You know, something like Receipt Bank, the ties directly into Xero. That if you're building any kind of tech that has a consumer-facing or retail-facing technology, you can build that straight into Xero anyway. So your whole business is likely to be connected to Xero, so connect that to Receipt Bank and have the whole lot working together. Something like Xero, which is their an online account system, it's all open API. All the developers will tap into it, and you have that. You know, you don't have somebody sitting there plugging in invoices anymore. It's all automatic. Try to get the technology right. Again, Xero has changed the way. It's that amazing, but it has changed the way accounting has been done and will be done going forward. Because you don't need the data process. Actually, you should be able to have people buy off websites, off apps, interact with you, and those transactions go straight through your technology and straight into an accounting system. And actually, there is no need for human intervention. A lot of this accounting system work. But it's automatic, which is important because your value inevitably, for most of you, will come through scale. And actually, the whole business needs to be scalable. And the most successful businesses I've seen understand the scale aspect from day one. They don't do anything that can't be scaled, because whatever it is, you're not going to make your money on your beta test on your local geographic market. You're not going to make your money on this works in the London area. This will make you money if you can get this national, if you can get this further, and that only happens if you can scale it. And for every process, between, you know, customer acquisition, marketing costs, advertising costs, every aspect. If you're spending money locally and creating local markets, and that's what you're tapping into, how do you scale that? And you might be able to, you know, cycle around on your bike and pull some customers together and partnerships together and do it like that, and you'll get some revenue, and you'll get a business. You build a platform, whatever your business is. You can't go on your bike beyond the outskirts of London. It's not scalable. So the same with accounting. Should we do some questions?
Yeah, definitely.
If there are any questions. If not, Simon. No, there is a question.
Can I ask a question about structure, not
Sure.
offshore, but so I'm I guess, effectively a going concern using a personal services company that's obviously trying to diversify into developing an app. And then, you know, sort of, I'm in the early stages, but assuming, you know, sort of things take off,
Yeah.
I don't want, I guess, this app linked with that service company, because assuming that I have to go through equity dilution or, you know, sort of that sort of affects two
Yeah.
different facets of my life. So
Yeah.
do I then create kind of a subsidiary of this, of the
You want to be
existing-
keeping it separate. So
Yeah.
again, it's scalable so that actually you can take investment into your app company, what's a clear
Yeah.
word, and you can scale that and you can decide whatever you want to do with it. So it's completely separate to your other,
Yeah.
whatever it is, whether it's outsourcing, consultancy, your personal service company, whoever else you're billing, whoever else you're working for. The time you're working on your app is the time that you're invested in that app company. Money you've put into it needs to be separated and goes into that. And the IP ultimately is owned by your app company. There'll be a timing because you won't set up that company, you'll be developing it now. Where's the IP sort of sitting with you, sort of sitting somewhere. Arguably you have nothing until you have nothing, and at the point you do, then you'll have the app. Arguably that IP is not worth anything, so you transfer in at the point you set up your company something that really isn't worth anything.
Yeah.
Hopefully it is, but you can probably get away with transferring in at no value. But as soon as you think you've got something, you need to get your structure right. And again, we've seen all sorts of businesses where they come and they've gone, yeah, you know, I've got this company, but my old company, they've got all the code. Or yeah, I developed this when I was at my other business. So what? Yeah, well, while I was sitting there, I was doing this while I was there. There's a whole bunch, and you think, well, it's probably started at working at lunchtime and it was something small, and then obviously they came back in the evening and they were doing it, and the IP is not in that company. So just being careful. And these things tend to develop because it was either a failed business and the IP existed, then something else happened, invested a bit more money, or there was another partner that came in, we did a bit more, and actually this is like the third iteration, and nobody quite knows where the code is or who owns it. It's just cutting that off. Because for sure, if it's successful, every Tom, Dick, and Harry will want a piece of it. And likewise, investors won't invest unless they're clear who owns the code, where's the IP. And actually, if it's just too complicated, they'll find something else to invest in.
If I've used Company A to effectively front up some of the costs for Company B,
Yeah.
how does ownership work? Do
So
I
you
then
can transfer in and sort of have pre-incorporation costs and
so
transfer
effectively
those in.
Company B is arguably paying for
Correct,
the
that's-
intellectual property?
Yeah,
so-
and then there's a loan for those costs, and that company is owed back the money that it's spent. You have to deal with the tax because it depends whether you claim the expenses in that company. You can't claim the both companies. If you're transferring them in, then so be it. Bigger question: are the costs? Was that just sweat equity, or was it real cost? Work that through.
I think we should wrap it up, and then let's just do some networking after. If you've got any other questions, just come up and have a chat with us. So thank you everyone for coming. Really appreciate you staying until 8:10 p.m. It's quite late. We'll be sending an email out in the next 72 hours with some PDFs, some information, and if you've got any other questions, you can reply to that email or obviously come and see us. So thank you very much.
Thank you.